Imagine your garden as a vibrant canvas bursting with color and texture, where every visitor steps in and gasps with admiration. Picture their eyes widening in delight as they pass by your meticulously designed flower borders, captivated by the rich tapestry of blooms, foliage, and the undeniable wow factor. Now, you might think that these mesmerizing borders are reserved only for grand country houses with teams of professional gardeners and sky-high budgets for plants. But here's the twist. You don't need a mansion or a master gardener to achieve this effect. You just need passion, patience, and the right approach. Today, we're diving into the secrets behind Paul and Francis Moskowitz's spectacular garden, a flower border that spans an impressive 125 feet by 65 feet, where most of the plants are lovingly propagated or grown from seeds by Francis herself. And the best part? Francis is going to share her hard-earned tips so you too can create borders that leave everyone saying, "Wow." Creating a show-stopping border isn't about minimal effort, it's about passion and dedication. Francis makes it clear right from the start. This is not a low-maintenance garden border. Instead, it's a deliberate and thoughtful work of art that requires time, effort, and a bit of extra care. Francis doesn't have formal horticultural qualifications, but what she does have is a profound love for gardening and a commitment to her vision. She spends countless hours not just working in her garden, but also thinking about it, planning, experimenting, and finding her unique style. This dedication is crucial if you want to elevate your garden from beautiful to breathtaking. Let's be honest, not everyone has the time or inclination to achieve the level of perfection seen in Francis's border, but with her insights, we can all learn how to add a bit more wow to our gardens. Francis and her husband Paul are heavily involved in their local gardening community. They run the Painters Forestall Gardening Club and open their garden twice a year for the National Garden Scheme, providing inspiration to countless garden enthusiasts. They also draw their own inspiration from other gardens, especially Great Dixter, a place that has profoundly influenced their design. For years, they've visited Great Dixter regularly, soaking in ideas and incorporating them into their own space. The result? A stunning mixed border that, after years of tweaking, now stands proudly as a testament to their dedication and love for gardening. The foundation, a garden that thrives on compost. One of the secrets to creating a garden border that is always lush, vibrant, and bursting with life is the soil. Francis emphasizes the importance of compost, lots of it. It takes a lot of time, a lot of patience, and a lot of manure, she says with a smile. The compost used in Francis's garden is a mixture of cow manure, organic horse manure, mushroom compost, and any other compost they can get their hands on. She advises gardeners to never skimp on compost. If you can, put on a foot or even 2 feet thick. Don't be afraid to go heavy. The goal is to create rich, fertile soil that retains moisture and nourishes the plants from beneath, encouraging strong, healthy growth that fills out the borders. Francis goes on to explain that the compost isn't just spread thinly across the surface. It's heaped on thickly, almost in mounds, to create a nutrient-dense environment where plants can thrive. "I don't spread it out, I just put it on in a lump," she says. The birds and worms do the rest, breaking it down over time and naturally incorporating it into the soil. The result? A garden that practically feeds itself, reducing the need for constant weeding and maintenance. Planting densely, the secret to no weeding. One of Francis's key strategies for creating a no-weed garden is to plant densely. By placing plants closely together, there is little room for weeds to take root and thrive. This method not only minimizes weeding, but also creates a lush, overflowing border that looks full and abundant. She starts by propagating her plants early, ensuring she has plenty of annuals, biennials, and perennials ready to fill any gaps. This approach means the garden is constantly evolving and filled with different colors and textures throughout the growing season. Francis doesn't follow the spacing guidelines on plant labels. If a label says to plant 12 inches apart, she disregards it and places plants closer together. Don't be frightened, she advises. If plants start to get too big, you can always cut them back. This approach allows for flexibility and experimentation, helping to create a border that feels alive and dynamic. Choosing and combining plants for maximum impact. Selecting the right plants is crucial for creating a stunning flower border, but even more important is knowing how to combine them for maximum visual impact. Frances loves to mix herbaceous perennials with bulbs and other seasonal plants to create a border that evolves and changes throughout the year. She is particularly fond of plants like monarda, bergamot, and verbascum, which add height and interest to the border. Always try and put more than one of your plants together, she suggests. This not only creates a fuller look, but also helps ensure that if one plant fails, the others will fill in the gap. Frances also recommends not worrying too much about a rigid color scheme. If you want a spectacularly beautiful border that gives you that wow factor, don't stress too much about color coordination. Just plant what you love and let the colors blend naturally. This freedom allows for a more organic and personal style to emerge, where the garden truly reflects the personality of the gardener. The art of staking, keeping your garden in shape. Staking is another crucial aspect of maintaining a beautiful border, and Frances has learned from years of experience just how important it is. Stake as early as you can, she advises. If you wait too long, you risk damaging the plants. She leaves some stakes in the ground over the winter to avoid disturbing the roots in spring. Her stakes vary from wrought iron types to hazel, a tip she picked up from a friendly head gardener at a nearby estate. Regardless of the type, the goal is to support the plants and keep them upright, especially during windy conditions. Frances laughs as she talks about the sheer number of stakes she uses. We usually have so many stakes you wouldn't believe it, but it's never enough. She also improvises when necessary, using whatever materials are at hand to provide support. Deadheading and feeding, the final touches for a perfect border. To maintain a vibrant and blooming border, Frances emphasizes the importance of deadheading and feeding. Start deadheading as soon as you can, she advises. Removing spent flowers encourages plants to produce more blooms, extending the flowering season and keeping the garden looking fresh. Frances deadheads religiously, sometimes multiple times a day, to ensure her plants are always at their best. In addition to deadheading, Frances supplements her plants with a weak solution of organic seaweed feed once or twice a week. It's always best to underfeed rather than overfeed, she cautions. If they respond well, you can always give them a bit more later. This careful approach ensures the plants get just the right amount of nutrients without being overwhelmed. The importance of patience and experimentation. Creating a flower border that looks amazing is not a one-time task. It's an ongoing process that requires patience, experimentation, and a willingness to learn from mistakes. Frances has spent years refining her techniques, drawing inspiration from other gardens, and constantly tweaking her approach. It's taken years of practice, she admits, but it's so rewarding to see the results. She encourages gardeners not to be afraid of making mistakes. Gardening is like playing an instrument. You have to practice and experiment to get it right, she says. And just like music, there is no one right way to do it. Each gardener must find their own style and rhythm, embracing the joy and creativity that comes with gardening. Conclusion: your journey to a stunning flower border. So what are the secrets to making a flower border look amazing? Start with rich, fertile soil loaded with compost. Plant densely to reduce weeding and create a lush, full look. Choose plants that bring you joy and don't worry too much about strict color schemes. Be diligent with staking, deadheading, and feeding to keep your plants healthy and vibrant. And above all, be patient and willing to experiment. With these tips from Frances Moskowitz, you're well on your way to creating a garden border that will have everyone saying, "Wow, now roll up your sleeves, grab your trowel and start planting. Your dream garden awaits."